Won't you take me back to Tennessee?
The award-winning Tennessee WildCast is on the air with the latest info about hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. This episode is brought to you by GSM Outdoors, whose vision is to preserve the sportsman's legacy, fuel innovation, and enable the next generation of outdoor enthusiasts. Think outside. That's where you'll find us. Now, make welcome your host, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee WildCast. We're glad you're tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Got a great show lined up for you today. Mr. Don King is helping me co-host.
Yes, especially speaking of GSM Outdoors, we got one of our good friends from GSM Outdoors going to be joining us again.
He is now. We've had him on, 3 different times now, and now's the 4th, so I think we're old buddies now.
I know it, yeah.
You guys are probably ready for me to leave. Can we have somebody else?
No, sir. We're glad you're here. And today is all about Camillus Knives, and that's our giveaway for this go around, and we got some special news on that one. So after our radio announcement, we'll get into that.
Yeah, WKRM, we really appreciate them. 103.7 in Columbia, Tennessee. WKRM, we appreciate Saturdays at 11. You'll hear Wildcast every week. So them, along with all our other radio partners too, we appreciate them putting us on their airwaves.
Yeah, very much so. We appreciate our radio partners. We appreciate you guys listening and watching out there on your favorite podcasting platform, on YouTube, Carbon TV, Facebook, and Instagram. Just follow, like, share, subscribe, stay connected with us. And if you do all that, and also comment and tag a friend, you might have a chance to win some cool products from GSM Outdoors. And today we are talking about the Camillus brand of knives and things like that we'll be giving away. So I'm excited.
Hey, and along those lines too, we don't mention it often enough, but the visual version of this show is made extra special by our producer, Todd Mazzaris. He is a master at putting this thing together and incorporating a lot of great B-roll and product shots, especially today when we're doing this show. But I mean, just things that just make it a really entertaining show to watch as well. So
definitely couldn't do it without him for sure. And
Todd, I want to thank you for having to put up with me over and over and over.
I mean, it's a weekly show, as you know. So from week to week, we are grinding to get a show out to you.
Exactly.
You know, so, yeah, we appreciate Todd very much. So this week, again, we got Keith Beam with us, GSM Director of Product Innovation, and I'm excited to dive into Camillus and all that they have to offer. And just so you know, this was a new thing last giveaway, but it's becoming a regular thing now.
Yeah, it is. I like it.
3 packages away during this show, so there's 3 chances to win. 3 winners will be pulled from this show. So,
and I think we're going to give them 2 knives. We're going with the Felix and the Carnivore to each one of your winners.
Oh, wow!
So 2 knives, 3 winners.
I'm spending GSM's money.
You're the product director of product innovation, so I think you can do that.
Or grunt. It just seemed a lot cooler to put that on your business card.
Well, I'm excited. Let's dive into the products, but real quick, gsmoutdoors.com. Click brands. You can scroll down and see all the brands that we're talking about today and all the other ones we've talked about in the past. Go visit those websites. Go visit their social medias. Check out these products. And then if you're in Tennessee, Pigeon Forge area,
Smoky Mountain Knife Works.
There you go.
Indeed.
Can't beat it.
One of the biggest customers, I guess, for GSM, or sells most of the GSM.
Especially the cutlery world, it's incredible.
Yeah.
When we went over there, my wife and I toured it. It was really cool. I've never seen a place broke down by brands. And that is one of those things like, I always wanted to know what that brand does, and it's easy to follow. It is a maze of amazing stuff over there. So thank you to those guys.
Yeah. They're a a great partner for our foundation. They do a lot for our foundation, but we got to go over and do a show with them back around Christmas last year, I guess it was. And
Yeah.
Anyway, great company, and we appreciate them as well. So let's dive in, talk about some of these knives and the product. Talk a little bit about the product and what we're giving away.
Got one with Jason's favorite color on it.
Oh yeah,
the orange right here. This is that Regent that I'm a big fan of orange.
That's
okay.
Volunteers and.
That's probably a good thing that I brought orange instead of like purple from Wanakee or something like that. No, it's I'm a big fan of orange. My life has been blessed to be in the outdoor industry for the last 34 years. So it's one of those things, or 32 years, so that it's one of these things when I do some dressing, field dressing or whatever, and I lay my knife down, it's easy to spot orange. So I'm not always a big believer in the total blackout package of things. So you'll hear me talk eventually or occasionally on the idea of I like orange. Camillus is, let's talk a little bit about the history of that. It's 1876. It's more than 140 years.
Yeah.
Now, you guys had this box sitting on your shelf, and you did not even know I was coming to talk with this, and that was going to tie together of it. This is a box pocket knife. It's number 27, and I was reading on the back here, and it said that each one of these pocket knives is hand oiled, honed, and then leather stroped, it says on the back. All right, so you're talking about 140 years. I'm sure that's not quite that old, this being a cardboard box still in existence like that. But it is fascinating when a brand can survive the test of time.
Yeah, right, definitely.
And it has. And they have everything from, like, one of the things we're giving away is the Carnivore. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's like a competition chopper, serrated edge, gut hook. It's like, wow, okay, this is what you need for your camping area. You can, I think it says clear your way or clear a new path or something like that.
Cut your own path.
Cut your own path, and it will. And it is fun. They've got great grips on it. They got good blades on these things. It's a economically, it's a great entry-level line of knives, and you have to remember that we all don't need $300 pocket knives. I lose more knives or break more knives screwing around throwing things as I do.
Yeah.
But it's one of these things. You talk a 420 stainless steel. Okay, very, very corrosion resistant, very easy to sharpen. Now, is it going to hold an edge like a 3V or a S35VN? No, but it's also not going to cost $300. So it's very easy to sharpen, very easy to maintain. A lot of chromium in this, in the stainless steel, so you don't have to worry about rust like you do with some of the others, especially some of the higher tech metals. You really got to keep them oiled and keep them tuned up.
Gotcha.
These are nice glass-filled nylon handles. On it, pocket clip on this. This one here has the assist opening with kind of a, I don't know, American Tanto variation of a tip on that Regent there, and I'll pass that around.
Yeah.
But Camillus is one of those knives that has a look and a feel that really kind of falls into everybody's realm. If you were to look at the whole line, if you go on to GSM Outdoors and you go to explore brands and you go down to Camillus, you're going to get to see colors, variations, blade styles to kind of fit anything that you really need. Now, there are guys that take great care of like a CLXR or a Recon 1 from, Cold Steel, and they've had them for 25 years, okay, that's fine. If you're like me and you destroy things or you lose things, Camillus is a great line for that. Especially if you're wanting a knife that's just kind of a do-it-all and do it well, they have a line of knives for you. And there's that orange. I set it down. It's got a lanyard hole on the back of that too. You look at it and you go, oh, I set it down on that box over there. Right. It's real cool to carry a black knife. It's real easy to lose a black knife. Set it on the pallet rack. Set it anywhere. Set it on your engine block if you're doing something, or in your floorboard of your car. Yeah, orange is pretty neat.
Yeah,
the brighter colors are pretty neat.
Yeah,
so it's a neat line of knives.
It's a good little knife. It's lightweight. This orange one is nice weight to it. I love the design and the clip and things. It incorporates that logo and things. Yeah, it's a great little design.
Yeah, I'll show you one that I really like. If you do a lot of camping, like I do. That Carnivore is great. I've always believed in having a machete with me, a shovel, and a way of starting fires.
You can get a SOG shovel, right?
Yes, you can. It's folding too. It fits in your car. But this is the Felix right here, and the neat thing about the Felix is it comes with a magnesium fire starter in the back, and the back of the blade is perfectly set so that you can scratch your fibers and then strike it and get it to start your fire. That's a kind of a neat product right there.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
one of those two that we're giving away. With the Carnivore and the Felix are going together. So if you guys are campers and you really want to have kind of a neat kit, I would definitely do the like, share, comment, subscribe, and get your name in that drawing.
There you go. Yeah, because I was just looking at the video or the photos online, CamillusKnives.com. If you're wanting to go check them out, the Carnivore has the blade, like you can saw with the backside of the, of the blade.
You can hack, saw, and gut hook.
Yeah, it's got the gut hook. It's really, really cool product. But then this to be able to start the fire, so you can cut the wood and start the fire right here.
Amen. That's it.
So yeah, great line for camping or hunting. That's a good combination right
Yeah,
there.
it's
I'm gonna cut myself pulling that out. Pull it out slowly.
yes.
But yeah, that's a really cool.
That's like the perfect size knife too for hunting. Everybody wants to carry a Bowie knife or something gigantic on these things, but I'm not attacked by T-Rex very often out in the woods. And if I really want to have something that I can clean a fish with, that I can gut a deer with, that I can cut line, rope, parachute cord, so on and so forth, that's really a great size blade right there. And I think Camillus, if you look at it, I think that's probably one of the reasons why they survive the test of time, is they do have a Camillus lifetime warranty on them, but they build things that operate and that are functional. In Cold Steel, we have giant katanas. I don't know how often we need to use that, but I can tell you a great pocket knife comes in pretty handy at times.
No, I've always got a knife in my pocket. So yeah, it's great. And then to have the orange so you don't lose it. I've set mine down many times, but one time I set it down and left it on a box here on the dock at work. And I was calling back to the office, hey, did anybody see my knife? Because it's green, it blended in, and I thought, man, this is a special knife, not a cheap one, and I didn't want to lose it.
We got it back too, didn't we?
We got it back. We got it back. So
I pulled away. We filmed these tests at my studio, and I dragged knives. They're dragged by steel cables, okay, so they don't bounce up and go through your windshield with just rope or whatever. And I got done dragging. I put all the cables away and whatever, and I took off. And I was about, halfway home. It's like a 22-mile trip. And I'm running 65 on the interstate. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I pulled off, and on the back of my bumper was my knife still sitting there.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, we had no speed bumps. You couldn't do that in your parking lot here. No, they'd be gone. They'd be off into the weeds. I was sitting here.
It was that bad, huh?
Yeah, well, we traveled a couple of hours, and I drink a lot of coffee. So I pounded like 40 ounces of coffee, and I'm getting here, and I'm like, I really need to take a pee. And Brian is hitting every speed bump and then slamming on the brakes.
And then the potholes beside that. Yeah.
I'm like, oh. He's like, how is it going? You are torturing me, man.
Oh, gosh.
I'm an old man. I turned 60. Yes.
Oh, that's not old. All right.
God love you.
So I guess we've kind of touched on the camping, hunting. We've also touched on an everyday carry. We mentioned that. So let's jump into one thing I wanted to touch on today too was you created, and we've talked about this in previous shows, you created the ground blinds, a real innovator in that field, that line, to make it easier to hunt. I mean, it's amazing what it's done for folks to be out there and get out the woods.
People out.
But talk about shooting deer out of a ground blind,
Out of a portable blind?
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause it's that time of year. We are in. I mean, it's archery season now.
It's
so.
go season. So when Brooks and I came out with the whole full line of double bull archery before we sold the Primos, it was really designed to chase turkeys. And we knew that we could beat turkeys with our archery equipment. It took a lot of learning, a lot of experience, lessons in ouchies, in the old soul about our blind, killing deer out of them. We would put them out in the field where they're going to come. Well, when they stage up, they sit there and they stare. there and there's this new blind out in the field. That's not going to happen, okay? Mm-hmm. So over a course of time, we came up with what we call the 5100 rule. And it's kind of neat because if it's wide open, leave it wide open. Let the deer see it. Let them get used to it. If it is in a thicket and it's thick, brush it in naturally. Don't make a beaver dam out of nothing. But, if it's a complete hardwoods with no vegetation on the ground, it's not a good spot for a ground blind. Okay?
Yeah, it'll stand out like a sore thumb.
You might as well put it where you stand up and enjoy it and have some success. But if you're hunting these staging areas, you always want to have the trail that they're going to be coming out in be walking past you quartering away so that their eyes are never really fixed on that blind, because you either have black ovals or you have a black opening where your shooting area is, right? And it stands out real easy to see. And you don't want to alert that. So we've learned that if you play the wind and you play this quarter away thought process, these are the paths that they're coming out to the field. I'm going to have my blind here. They're going to step out in this field at 30 yards or 20 yards or whatever, but I'm going to be brushed in. And usually on field edges, that's your thickest vegetation, right? Mm-hmm. So don't put it out in the field. Use that thick vegetation. Right. Cut yourself a hole, brush your blind in, but get it so that when they're walking, they're never peering at that blind. If you are on that trail, or if you're in direct line with that trail, or you're out in the field directly in line with that trail, you've already alerted them. Mm. You might get a doe and a fawn to come out and freak out, or a button buck, but if you want to shoot bruiser, you got to be pretty sneaky about it. And it really helped. We had a lot of people that really taught us a lot of things, but we learned by trial, error, and fire.
Definitely, yeah.
And that's one thing that I would share with anybody. If you're going to hunt a ground blind and you're going to do it like we used to do it, kind of on a daily thing, play the wind. We only had one blind. It's not like these guys, you see them in every field, the blinds all over.
They just leave them out there.
They just leave them up. The deer get used to them. But you're almost beating them just by getting used to. But on that simple fact, if you took a look at statistics, how many of those, not hard side blinds, I'm talking about pop-up blinds that are out there that are killing big deer with archery, it's probably not very many. That big deer still knows that's in existence. So what we're doing here is we are putting it in the field edges or back in a thicket, a cedar thicket or whatever, and we're not surprising the deer. We are merely mirroring and paralleling. Our viewpoint is his, okay? Mm-hmm. And we're stepping off to the side where when he does come out, comes out of a thicket or comes out into this field, that he's quartering away, wide open, okay? Great shot opportunity, but we're not alerting that deer to our presence. Everybody says, well, you put a blind out there, they'll get used to it in 3 or 4 days. Yeah, there'll be tracks all around it. There'll be tracks around it at night. You throw a trail camera out there a cell and you'll have pictures of Big Boy walking all around it. But they know when you're out there. They know what they need to walk downwind of. Okay? I don't want them to know there's a blind in existence. It was one of the greatest things of, like when we bought HS Strut and Hunter Specialty, the scent elimination sprays that we have are dynamite. Will Primos asked me a long time ago, what's your favorite thing? You like smell like cedar? You like smell like this? I don't want to smell like anything. Yeah. If I spray myself with cedar, then I'm the most pungent cedar bush you've ever seen in your life, and it's one of those things. I don't want to smell like a doe in heat. Okay. Yeah. I put that on my boots. Great. You're in the blind. They're walking downwind wondering why my doe is in this hidden structure. So it's one of those things. I don't want to alert anything to my presence. And I think the big thing to realize is if we don't just fool their eyes, but fool their nose and do it in a way that is not obtrusive. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to have great success with it. One of the tough things that was hard for us to get used to was I was hunting with Jay Gregory, and he kills giant deer out of the blinds. And a squirrel started barking, and I thought he was barking at the blind. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm going to get my bow and kill him. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, because I always thought when we set up, squirrels didn't like the blind because they don't. They come down the tree and they're looking in the blind and whatever, and then they go up. They're carrying on.
That's just like it.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, he hates the blind. No, believe it or not, and most people know this. When a squirrel's firing off, he's telling you a deer's coming. And I for the longest time was like, oh, I hate squirrels. They bust this blind and they're alerting deer. Yeah. And it was one of those things that they're actually helping you, and it's a simple thing. It's a thing maybe I should have known. I grew up in a hunting family, but it's one of those things, once I figured that out, and once I figured out how to brush a blind in, it made perfect sense, and it started working in my behalf. If you want to take your wife or your kids or somebody out there with you and give them an opportunity to succeed, and maybe it's their first deer. Maybe it's the first time they've ever watched a deer hunt. Being able to whisper, talk to one another, give hand signals, show this, tell them when to draw, tell them when to hold, tell them when to release, when that's quartering away or whatever. There's really nothing that'll do it like a ground blind. And I know the hard blinds, and we have Muddy and we have Hawk, are fantastic. You can get away with murder in those things because you can seal it all up, and keep your scent in. I think the Drurys did some kind of test that when they opened the window, there's like 25 seconds or something before the scent rolled out of the blind. So if you keep it all shut, they can do that. When you're hunting a portable blind and you're doing it right, I think that you can do what we're supposed to do, and that's mentor and teach traditions and honors, teach ethics.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't take that quarter net shot. Just hold on. Yeah. It'll present itself. And if you set your blind up, like I was talking about, that's your quartering away. I mean, I'm going to set my blind up. There's the field over here to the right, and he's going to come off my left, and I'm downwind. I want him to step out there looking that way, quartering away.
Yeah.
That's a cool little trick that, like you said, you've been hunting all your life. I should have known that, or I should have learned that. I should have known that. That's a good little tip, I think, for folks out there listening that, don't put it where you're going to come to you.
Right.
Put it where they're going to come by you.
It always feels like, oh, they're going to that field. I'm setting up that field. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a thing too. If you do put your blind out in a field, and this is a great way to do it. I've got buddies in Ohio that kill great big deer in the mornings on a food plot. They just sleep in them overnight. I can't do it in northern Wisconsin or Minnesota. You freeze to death. But, I mean, if it's something in early season, they're hitting a soybean field and they're killing it in the morning, it's not a bad idea to have that blind out there and spray down with a good scent elimination spray, and then take a pillow and a blanket and stay out there and watch what happens in the morning when you open your eyes and they're feeding around you. There's ways that people have taught me, and in everything that we do, we learn. I mean, we've either experienced it. We're supposed to do it by just advice, but that never works out with people. You have to experience it.
You learn more by doing. Yeah,
you do. And I have been given more secrets and more tips and tricks, probably than I'm able to share. I was talking to you guys earlier about deuce nudes on a turkey. I read the deuce nude, and people are like, "What did you just say?" You're at a bar and like, "I'm going to read the deuce nude." What the heck did he just say? No, it's you're killing turkeys at 11 yards, right? You can see their eyelids, you can see everything that's going on. Their mouths open, they're gasping for air because they've been running around strutting and whatever. But if you'll watch a turkey coming in, and a long deuce snoot's 3 or 4 inches draped down his face, he's white-headed, he's very dominant, he's fully relaxed, his breast feathers are down, he's posturing coming in, and that deuce snoot's all stretched out. If you're sitting there and purring and clucking and purring and clucking and purring and clucking, he's doing that, keep doing it. If you stop and all of a sudden that deuce snoot goes up and goes 3/4 inch erect and his head starts turning red, you've done something wrong, So pay attention more to the deuce snoot than probably anything else if you're bow hunting turkeys. I keep telling people this. I mean, everybody that hunts with me, I'm always pointing this out. I'm like, you see that 2-year-old over there? He doesn't like the decoys, right? Look at his deuce snoot. It's 3/4 inch and erect, sitting like this. Big old cotton top that's coming through there, thunder gobbling. He's all draped down. He doesn't care. And it's one of those things that if you're doing something and it's working, keep doing it. If you're doing it and the deuce snoot's changed, for worse, you might want to stop that and repeat what worked.
Yeah, definitely. So speaking of tips and tricks, we've talked a little bit about it, but like, I think about in a ground blind, I still want to clear my pad where I'm not making noise with my feet and things like that. Are there any other tips and things like that?
Yeah, so here's what you do. Turkey season stays on top of the leaves, okay? I can scratch twice, just like a hen, all underneath my feet. I want to shuffle my feet, do it twice. If you want to stretch your legs,
Okay. Yeah.
That could be the last bit that keeps his deuce snoot stretched out that brings him in. That last bit is just the scratching. Okay. Deer hunting, I push it all into the corners of the blind. I got a perfectly dead dirt pad down below me or grass. And with that, when the thermals drop, when it's go time, when you're starting to feel that temp finally drop, it's going to the ground, it's going out that ground, it's going through all that great cover scent that you just pushed up against there. So turkeys, leave the debris. Deer, push it into the edges. And you were right on with it. You do not want to make that twig snap or leaf snap when a deer's out there.
Yeah.
But with a turkey, if I'll just scratch. So it's one of those things. I love having crunchy leaves when I'm turkey hunting. You know? Because you can hear a turkey come from a long ways off. And if you're hard of hearing, you're wearing some Walker amplified hearing stuff. GSM
product.
That you can turn it up and you can hear stuff that you haven't heard before. And that's what it's really fun because turkeys scratch all the time. And they always do a
Two.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's fun to beat them with stuff like that. But that's where a ground blind. You couldn't do that sitting up against a tree. He's 35 yards away and he's closing in on you. You're not going to move your arm and scratch twice. But you can do that in a ground blind, and you can have your kids do it. And that's what's really fun if you're mentoring kids. It's wow. Hey son, scratch the leaves. Shh, look at the Tom. He's coming in. And you're getting all fired up with him, and he's getting involved. And that's great. And it's hard to beat. I will say a decoy tip.
Okay,
I'll give you a decoy tip. Turkey, same way though, but I'm going to talk deer decoys. Put them facing the blind, okay? I don't care if you hunt a buck and a doe or just a buck, okay? Just depending on the time of the season. If it's October in Wisconsin and it's go time, they're starting to chase a little, I hunt a buck and a doe. I face them both at it. What he's going to do is he's going to circle and come head on. Okay. When he does that last arc right there, he's quartering away. Okay. So if you face him away from him, he comes head on. All you have is a frontal shot. So just be cognizant of that. And then also play your pin. If your top pin is 20 yards on a deer, don't put the decoys like I would turkey hunting at 11. Put it right at 17, 18, 19, 20 yards. Keep them far enough away from the blind where you don't get busted with anything, but face it at it. And same thing with turkeys. If I'm hunting the Tom and I don't have my decoy facing me, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. He's going to walk out, go into full strut. He knows that Jake can see him. So face your decoys at the blind, you'll have a ton more success.
Wow.
Hey, it's been some good stuff right here.
Tip after tip.
Yeah, tip after tip. And then don't forget these giveaways.
Oh, man.
Camillus Knives, great products, GSM Outdoors product. We're giving away the Carnivore and the Felix, right?
Correct.
So we're giving away two knives to each winner, and we're having 3 winners. So going to go home with some cool products. So like, subscribe, share, comment, tag a friend in this show, and that's how you'll get your name in the hat. The more you engage, the more you win.
Yes.
So, Keith, thank you. Been a great episode, great tips. Enjoy having you in, and we'll have to have you back sometime. And
I thank you. Thank you guys both.
Thank you, Keith.
Yeah.
It's been fun. This is Tennessee WildCast. Keep coming back, keep watching, keep listening, and we'll see you next time.
Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org. And follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram. You can invest in Tennessee's wildlife future by purchasing a license at GoOutdoorsTennessee.com. That's GoOutdoorsTennessee.com.